Controlling. A manager performs various tasks such as planning, organizing, staffing, and directing to attain organizational goals. Besides these, a manager needs to check if his subordinates are performing their tasks as per the required standards or not. If he thinks that the performance is below standards, he needs to take corrective action for the same. The process of monitoring organizational performance towards the attainment of organizational goals is controlling. Controlling is one of the 5 functions of management. The task of controlling involves establishing standards of performance at the time of planning, measuring current performance, comparing this with established standards, and taking corrective action where any deviation is found. Controlling is a goal-oriented function as it ensures that the resources of an organization are being used effectively and efficiently for the achievement of predetermined goals. Controlling sees to it that the right things happen in the right ways and at the right time. A good controlling system comes to the rescue of a manager and helps an organization in different ways. Through controlling function, a manager can keep his team on the right track to achieve organizational goals. An efficient controlling system helps a manager to verify the accuracy of the standards set. He can also review and revise the standards as per the changes taking place in and out of an organization through an efficient controlling system. Through an efficient controlling system, a manager can ensure that resources are used in the most effective and efficient manner. A good controlling system motivates employees and helps them to perform better. The controlling function tells employees about the work they are expected to do, as well as about the standards of performance on the basis of which they will be appraised. An efficient controlling system helps to minimize dishonest behavior on the part of the employees by keeping a close check on their day-to-day activities. The controlling function also facilitates coordination in an organization. Each department and employees in an organization is governed by predetermined standards that are well coordinated with one another to attain organizational goals. Controlling is very important managerial function. It is concerned with taking measures or preventive actions to ensure achievement of organizational goals. Controlling is a 5-step process of establishing performance standards based on the organization's objectives, measuring actual performance, comparing the two, analyzing the deviation, and taking corrective or preventive action as necessary. Establishment of standards. The control process begins with the establishment of performance objectives or standards. Standards are the plans or the targets which have to be achieved in the course of business function. These are the criterions for judging the actual performance. Standards can be broadly classified into measurable, tangible or quantitative standards, and non-measurable, intangible or qualitative standards. Those standards which can be measured and expressed in numbers or in terms of money are called as measurable, tangible or qualitative standards. They can be in the form of cost, output, expenditure, time, profit, etc. Those standards which cannot be measured monetarily or in numbers can be termed as non-measurable, intangible or qualitative standards. For example, performance of a manager, workers' attitudes towards an organization and others. It is important to have flexible standards so that it can be modified with the change in the internal and external business environment. Measurement of actual performance. After setting standards, the second step is to measure the actual performance of individuals, groups or units. The measurement of tangible standards is easy as it can be expressed in units, cost, money terms, etc., while the measurement of quantitative measurement becomes difficult when performance of an individual has to be measured. The measurement can be done through personal observation, written or oral reports by or about employees, automatic methods, inspections, test or samples. Comparison of actual performance with standards. The comparison of actual performance with predetermined standards is an important step in control process. Such comparison will reveal the deviation between actual and desired results. Let's take an example. Suresh is working as a manager with PQR Private Limited, which produces shoes. The company plans to sell about 1 lakh shoes in 6 months. That is, about 17,000 shoes per month. But Suresh discovered that his production team could produce only 10,000 shoes in a month. Here, the deviation is in terms of production. Analyzing deviations. After determining deviations, a manager has to find out the extent of deviation as well as the cause of deviation. Extent of deviation means that the manager has to find out whether the deviation is positive or negative, or whether the actual performance is in conformity with the planned performance. In our example, the deviation is in terms of production and is negative. Even under the best of circumstances, deviations from performance standards are inevitable. Therefore, the managers have to exercise management by exception. A manager needs to find out the critical and important deviations for his business. He may ignore minor deviations but should look upon major deviations like replacement of machinery, appointment of workers, quality of raw material, rate of profits, etc. consciously. In the given example, the deviation is a major one, as less production will affect the company's profits also. Once the deviation is identified, a manager has to think about various causes behind the deviation. The causes may be erroneous planning, unrealistic standards, defective process, inadequacy of resources, ineffective supervision and communication, etc. In the given example, Suresh discovered that the main cause behind low production was inadequate number of manpower. Taking corrective actions. Finally, once the causes and the extent of deviations are known, a manager needs to take remedial measures for them. After discovering the reason behind low production, Suresh decided to increase the strength of employees in the production unit. If a manager finds that the actual performance is not in conformity with plans, even after taking the corrective measures, he needs to revise the targets. To summarize, Control is an essential function of management in every organization. The management process is incomplete and sometimes useless without the control function. The term control has different meanings in different contexts. In the management context, control refers to the evaluation of performance and the implementation of corrective actions to accomplish organizational objectives. Controlling thus plays an important role in helping managers detect irregularities, identify opportunities, handle complex situations, decentralize authority, minimize costs, and cope with uncertainty.